You wanna quit, buddy?
രോമാഞ്ചം സ്വരരാഗംഗയായി പകരുന്ന മണിവീണ മൂകമായി
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed almost 500 Indian movies on the channel, and once a month all of our awesome supporters can take part in a movie poll. The latest poll was all about Malayalam parallel cinema. I wanted to go with 3 remarkable filmmakers, either a film by Adur Gopalakrishnan, who we are already quite familiar with, or the last film by John Abraham, or the first one by Govindan Aravindan, 2 filmmakers we haven't seen anything from yet. Yeah, and don't worry, the next poll will be about something massier again. The next poll is already up, and this time it's all about superstar Rajnikant. Our supporters can either vote for Kabali, Muthu, or Sivaji. Yeah.
We're doing it all.
Yeah, we're doing it all. Yeah. Yeah, but people are complaining, please watch more mainstream movies, and then other people are complaining, you all only watch mainstream movies, so yeah. Always the same. The film that won the poll, obviously, is
Uttarayanam.
Uttarayanam. A 1974 Malayalam language drama, marking, of course, like I said, the directorial debut of Govindan Aravindan. Yeah, a few words to the filmmaker. He was born in 1935 and died in 1991. He was one of the pioneers of parallel cinema in Malayalam, and before he ventured into the world of cinema, he was actually working as a cartoonist. And his debut film was actually inspired by his own cartoon series, Chiria Lukavum Valia Manushvarum, which translates to Small World and Big People, which I think is an awesome title. The film won a ton of Kerala State Film Awards, as well as 2 National Film Awards. The National Film Award for Best Feature Film in Malayalam, as well as an award for the Best Feature Film on the 25th anniversary of India's independence.
Okay.
Yeah. Great award, and of course very fitting that this movie won that award. But Deniz, what is the movie all about?
The movie has an English title, which is Throne of Capricorn.
Yeah.
But I've looked up Uttarayanam, and the word Uttarayanam or Uttarayana derives from 2 different Sanskrit words. Uttaram means north, and Ayanam means movement. And Uttarayanam indicates the northward movement of the sun. So it's like this auspicious time between like December or January and June and July. And this time is like all about where things start to blossom and things start to like begin anew through this movement. So this, of course, makes sense when we talk about the movie. So
That's not even your trivia.
That's not my trivia. I have trivia that's not as good.
Okay. But this was just too important.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, the movie is starring Dr. Mohandas, who only did like.
But is it really like Doctor?
Doctor or DR? I don't know.
Because
I found both. So
yeah.
maybe we just say Mohandas. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he only made like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, on IMDb there's just 1 listed, but I read that he made 2, so 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. It also stars Kunju, Adurbasi, Sukumaran, Vijayan, and Balan K. Nair. And like you said, it's the first movie by Govindan Aravindan, yeah. So the synopsis of this movie is, while looking for a job, an unemployed young man has a series of encounters with men who participated in the Indian independence movement. And their stories are told through flashbacks.
So you're
Jimmy.
Okay. I think.
Oh,
I think
now, yeah.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
For me, it was awesome to see the independence struggle from a Malayalam perspective. I think that was a first for us. We have seen it, of course, like more in the northern side of India. But to see it in this setting, just from a visual perspective, like this jungle, everything covered with trees, and then the train in the middle, and interesting to see it in a Kerala setting. The storyline, we have seen something like this before. I thought like of Satyajit Ray's The Adversary, like these young men looking for a job, but it's really difficult, and all the places are corrupt, and yeah, we have seen this before, and I think this movie is doing a nice job with the material. It has a really interesting flashback structure, like how we jump into the past, and it's a prolonged flashback where we see like what happened in, I guess, 1943.
It's 1943. Yeah, we see it one time in a newspaper.
Yeah.
When like the grandfather, I think, like looks in a newspaper after what happened with the bridge bombing, I think, and it's like this news, and it's 1943, and it's also at that time, or it must be at this time, because the Quit India movement started in 1942. And like it lasted until 1945, this specific movement. And yeah, it's 1942, I think, at the beginning, but then we are in 1943. Yeah,
maybe a little bit on the surface level what I'm saying here, but I really like the look of these guys. There was something about their faces, like especially our lead actor Mohandas, but also Kunjandi, who's playing Kumaran Mahasta, former revolutionary. He has such a specific face, such a specific look. I really like to see them here. But my main issue here, and I sound like a broken record, but the quality we watched this movie in was really, really not what the movie deserved. Of course, it's kind of my job to look up the movies that I put on the poll, and I looked it up. It was on YouTube with English subtitles. I thought I clicked through it and thought it was fine. But it really wasn't. It was, I don't know how many pixels there were on the screen, but not a lot. So it was like a super soft, blurry mess. So much of the print we watched is like super dark. Like, and the movie was, unfortunately, I think it didn't make a big impact on me. And that's mainly because it was such bad quality. It was so hard to, I mean, you could recognize the faces, but you couldn't see any details. There were some shots with a lot of little ants. Someone was killed, and then a lot of insects were crawling on him. And you think to yourself, that's probably an awesome shot. But here it looks like completely messy, and it was really difficult to... There are many characters here, and with a print that's so soft and so, I don't know what, ugly, it's difficult to follow the story, to get really invested, because film is a visual medium after all. And it was like, I watched it and I was like, yeah, that was a good movie, but did I really see it? I'm not sure.
That's interesting, because I had my problems with the quality, and at first I also thought, whoa, 2 hours to get through with this quality, but I could actually look past it because I like the movie. I really like the movie. And it's not like I didn't see the bad quality, but I didn't like recognize it or didn't like realize it that much, because I was in this movie. I was in the story. I was in it like from the first shot, this wide shot with the jungle and the train. And
that's a great shot.
I immediately was into this like pure atmosphere of this movie. And
the beginning is really good. Like he's going on train to a faraway place to get a job, hopefully. And then they won't even do the interview, and it gets cancelled. And
we don't really know. I had my problems to know what this movie is really about. And because of the flashback structure, which was irritating at first, because I couldn't make out what is this now. And then I realized, okay, now we're in 1943, and now we're back in 1974, and we're jumping a little bit back and forth all the time when like his uncle, I think it is, or the master like tells him stories about earlier times. And as soon as I understood that, like all things made sense. And I liked how like what Aravindan, yeah, is the name. It's like what he was able to do with like these minimal resources he had. This is, like we said, this is his first movie, and this is like a minimal budget, black and white, artistic movie that's like, but doing everything it can with the minimal resources. We don't have like, we don't see any British soldiers, for example. We don't see they're not that with a lot of characters, but there are not a lot of extras, like there's no army or anything, but we still understand this oppressive feeling that these people must have felt at this time. And that was kind of impressive, because there's like only this Indian soldier who works for the British, and he's just enough to feel this terrible situation that they're in.
And also the bombing, we of course don't really see the bombing.
We see like a few shots from under a bridge that they shot somewhere, and like some wood is lying there, and some stones maybe, and that's enough to get what happened. That's so nice. And and the movie is of course doing a fine job shining a light on or destroying the illusion that India has developed into this prospering country. That was, of course, the hope, and the movie is very much about revolutionaries in the past, and they are fighting for freedom, for independence, and then if they will rule the country, everything will be fine. But of course, it's not. Of course, it's better than be ruled by a foreign government, by the British, but still the hope that it will be a fair and free country for everyone is of course shattered. And now 25 years later, some of the former revolutionaries are corrupt now. And there's this really nice early moment where a friend asks our lead character about some points for an essay. And the subject is students' role in nation building. And his answer is, there is no role, so there are no points. And then he just walks away. He's so young, but already so bitter and disillusioned. And the movie's like his journey and how he's meeting all these different people. It's an interesting movie for sure. It's kind of nice, like how this character of Ravi works, because this is of course like it's kind of a traumatic thing to realize that the past or the things that have happened in the past aren't like that anymore, because past oftentimes gets romanticized in a way, and we think how all these freedom fighters from back then, they're still fighting for the good thing today. And of course it's like a traumatic experience to realize, okay, now this is a corrupt politician, this one has a corrupt business, and communists become capitalists, and all this stuff. And I think that's like really traumatic for youth and young people, a young generation who think and who doesn't know what's happening to me. What can I do now? And because if I see what happened to these people in like our in the biggest fight that we ever had, what can I do? What can I change? And I think this movie does a good job with that, because Ravi is also meeting a few friends who they have jobs, but they're drinking. They're drinking all the time. They're smoking, and they're going to. I know he's even going to a prostitute. I think the other one. It's like this. It's just that's young generation. It's what they do, and especially in the 70s, probably. And it's like this. Everything is there in abundance. You have all the food. You have all the alcohol. You have everything you want. So what can we fight for?
But it's bad for health.
And it's bad for health. But it's. I thought it's kind of nice to. At first, I thought this movie is telling me like that Ravi is also indifferent about things. He just doesn't care about anything. He says there are no points about anything. Or like in another situation, you also. And he gets asked something. He says, I don't know. I don't care.
But towards the end, he's really searching. He's really looking for a place in the world
Exactly.
and for something that can make you happy. And
Yeah, and I think like this movie is not, it's more about like thinking about who you are, you yourself, and like cleaning your mind and like becoming or getting rid of all the things that you think are right or you think are wrong, and maybe make your own path. Get clean, cleanse everything. And that's like probably what he does in the end. I don't know, but it's like this, maybe you should learn about yourself before you like throw yourself into anything that you don't know how it will like turn out. Maybe, I don't know, but
I don't know either.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely an
am I too philosophical for you now?
no, but if everybody does that, then how does
Yeah, of
society
course, yeah. How does
work
it work?
as a whole?
Yeah.
And
maybe, but I think Ravi is like this guy who's totally overwhelmed by anything.
Yeah.
Because there are people in his family. The grandfather was a supporter of the non-violence of Gandhi, and I think some others were supporters of Bhagat Singh. We see a picture of Bhagat Singh. Others were like traitors who talked to the police to catch the rebels, and he's the one who like had everybody in his family from every part of this freedom fight, and he just what he's just overwhelmed. Yeah.
It's also a movie that came out at the perfect time.
Yeah,
because just 1 year later there was the emergency declared by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, which is kind of the nail in the coffin. So much for our democracy and so much for our freedom. The one character, the one who plays the medical representative, did you recognize him? Yes,
that's Sukumaran, but
you don't know.
Yeah, I thought
the
about
name
where
Sukumaran.
Yeah, but
Sukumaran, it's the father of Prithviraj Sukumaran, and what's the brother?
Indrajit.
Indrajit, that's the father. Yeah, you can see the resemblance. I have seen him before in a Mohanlal movie, in an old one. I immediately recognized Sukumaran.
He's also a great character in this movie. I mean, if I had to criticize something about this movie, like it's that it's told in a way that is still really distant from me. Like it's really like. It's not cold, but I can't really like identify. I can't identify with some specific things, like the search for who you are and what will you do with your life. But other than that, it's really distant. It's more about the background, about what India is about, what are we about now in the 70s and all this stuff. It's not about getting involved that much.
Definitely.
For us, maybe even more.
Maybe the last thing I want to touch on is. I like that there's this bodybuilder in the movie. And what I like
this yoga guy
is that he also has the dream of going to the United States and making it big there, because the movie's from 1974, and that's pretty much exactly the same time when Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's of course from Austria, from here, did the same. Like he was starring in his first movies and was trying to make a name for himself. So just
it's
nice,
interesting
coincidence.
Maybe even the bodybuilder is like this antithesis to Ravi, because he actually really does know what he wants to do, what he wants to be. He's like, I'm doing this is not good for your health. This is good for your health. He seems to know everything. He
but going to America is of course also very capitalist thing, maybe.
Of course, but there's maybe the positive thing is there is the possibility to do that. You don't have to, but there is like this. Okay,
I'm not sure if you will make it.
I'm also not sure. But
So anything else?
There's this one little nice scene. I don't know. Ravi is like seeing. I don't know who it is. He sees him and talks about the revolution now. And the other guy says, but I don't get leave. I don't get leave from my job. How can I make a revolution now? And it's like this typical thing where we are a state that people maybe are in for like 50 years now. It's like, of course I want to do something. I want to do a revolution, but I don't have time because I have to go to work. It doesn't make any sense, but it's still, it's like, that's the stuff of the last 50 years or so, maybe.
True.
It's interesting,
So what would you say in German about Uttarayanam?
Uttarayanam.
Uttarayanam.
I think it's Uttarayanam.
Yeah, probably.
Uttarayanam hat mir ziemlich gut gefallen. Die experimentelle Erzählweise wird mit der Zeit gekonnt aufgedröselt und schafft es, tiefgreifende Fragen über Pflichten, Verantwortungen und die eigene Existenz zu stellen.
Nice. Uttarayanam ist ein starkes Debüt. Eine Art ehrliche und anklagende Bestandsaufnahme des Landes, knapp 25 Jahre nach Indiens Unabhängigkeit.
Even better.
I give Uttarayanam 7 out of 10. It's more like 6.9, but I don't do that. But again, the print that we watched, it was really, I think it's almost unfair to give this a rating. I would love to see like a 35mm projection in a cinema, because there are so many images in there where I thought, I'm sure they look fantastic, but here it looks all dark and no contrast and no clarity and so my rating is just like a basic 7 out of 10 because I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. At the same time, I was so distanced because of the image quality and all of that, so I can't rate it higher, but I'm certain I can't rate it any lower because I think it's a really good movie, but this version.
I'm going to look past it and give it an 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.6, but I don't do that either.
Nice.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Indian tricolor, the national flag of India, was designed by the freedom fighter Pingali Venkaya, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi in 1921?
No.
The colors have changed since then.
Since
Since 1921. Yeah. In his design, Pingali Venkaya's design, the colors were white, green, and red with a charka in the middle. And now it's, of course, saffron, white, green with the Dharma chakra in the middle. So,
nice. Good.
It's not as good as the. It's not as good as the Uttarayanam.
I really liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. 7 out of 10. So, please let us know in the comments below what you think about Uttarayanam. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and also on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at The Buddymeister.
And if you enjoyed this review, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.